to be able to fill in the blanks of what to do instead. My son heard something that was being said and he's like, "What does grounded mean?" And I
Mhm.
said, "Oh, that's when you take off your shoes and socks and stand outside on the ground." But they had no concept of that. Now, isn't it funny when people first hear that, and even me, if you would have told me 30 years ago or whatever, if a child wasn't punished, I would have just imagined total bratty chaos, craziness, mean kids. Like my assumption then is the understanding I bring to parents now. So people just don't know what to do instead of control, punishments, rewards and all these things. So I like to be able to fill in the blanks of what to do instead. So my kids have never been punished. They've never done a workbook page. They've never done any formal schoolwork. Isn't that crazy? But
Mm.
yet they're happy, successful, living lives that they love. And it's entirely possible. So I'm so happy to answer any questions you guys have about it. I'm sure there might be a few, but we can get to that whenever Tosh is ready.
Yeah, well, I just want to say, okay, what's amazing, and sometimes in this container, I have had a couple interviews with some unschoolers who are now adults. And this is what a lot of us who are coming out of our slumber had the abrupt awakening in 2020 with COVID, or maybe a few years earlier. We're all future tripping. I'm not anymore, but I was, and I can relate to everyone who is. Oh my gosh, am I going to ruin their life? What if they resent me? What if they don't get into university? What if they don't do this? I mean, it's just so much guilt, so much fear, so much anxiety. And, I remember when I first met Devin and was listening to him speak, and he was talking about how his job at the hardware store was coming from a place of genuine interest. And he said kids his age that are working with him are usually on their phone, and they just can't wait till the shift ends, and they just want out of there, right? It's just a job. And for him, he did it because he's always had choice and freedom. So he's taken responsibility for what he wants to do. So there he is working. And of course, they hire him to be the manager down the road. And I
Within
think
two
he was
months, within two
within
months.
2 months. And then
Mhm.
he was apprenticing as an electrician with somebody. And if
Yeah.
so I mean, just dramatic in terms of maturity and having responsibility and taking charge of his own life because he's had the freedom to do so and been empowered to have freedom of choice, really.
Yeah, and it's also about the conditioning that didn't happen with him. So kids in school are really conditioned to do the least amount possible to get by and pass.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
they don't want to be there. Well,
Hmm.
if they were there, if they wanted to be there, it would be different, but most don't. And so that is a real conditioning that stays with people sometimes their whole lives to do the minimum. When the teacher's not looking, you do what you want, you pass notes. People leave school and enter jobs with that same mindset, looking at the clock the whole time. They're conditioned to live a mundane life, doing things they don't want to do. That's what school does.
Hmm.
So obviously Devin started to see that with kids his age. He was like, why are they here? They don't like it. They don't do the work. The second the boss leaves, they're not even helping me. Like he's like, I'm getting paid to do something. They're getting paid. Why aren't they doing something? Like it was just this foreign concept to him.
Hmm.
But I see this even today with my other kids. My daughter Ivy is in the same situation. She's working part-time and she's like was promoted to sales girl within 3 weeks, the youngest employee. And she's like, I don't know, mom, I'm just doing what they're paying me for. It's nothing extraordinary. They're paying me for something, so I'm doing it, but nobody else is doing it. So there's a lot that I'm learning now that they're adults because a lot of this, my life was based in trust in them, trust in this philosophy. But now I'm actually seeing it going like, wow, there really is deep conditioning of humans when it comes to work ethic, when it comes to just accepting jobs that you hate, doing things you hate, living a miserable life. And I think that is a really big important thing. I mean, as far as school subjects goes, your kids are going to learn whatever they need to learn as they need to learn it. It's not very difficult. I know
No.
you're conditioned to think that this is so difficult that you need teachers to like do all these, cover all these subjects so your kids are covered in case they need it. Learning is easy. It's like breathing when it's not forced, and your kids will learn whatever they need to learn as they go. My kids don't have like any holes in their education at all.
Right.
It was all a lie that was told to me, and I always somehow trusted them and trusted this journey. even though there wasn't a lot of people that came before me. Maybe that's why it was my purpose. I was meant to help people with this, but my kids are the most like socially adjusted, ambitious, happy people. And it was easy. It was easy and
Well,
fun. You
and
know?